Everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. We're in the 3.5 Monster Manual, and we're on part 2 of Tendriculos. And in the first episode, we built it. And in between, what I've done is, when I left off, I painted it in Mod Podge, sprinkled it with dill, and then dried that with my hot air gun. And then I watered down the Mod Podge and put green in it. And then with the black Mod Podge that I used, I put green in it. And then I did another another paint job on there. And then I painted it with that. And it's not 100% perfectly dry, but I think we can get started. It's not leaving anything on my hands. So there's a little bit, but it's not much. So what we want to do is we want to get a giant brush, a big makeup brush, something soft like this. And we want to get a piece of cardboard. And we want to get some, whatever you want as your base coat. So for me, I have an arbor green color that's pretty good. It's fairly dark, and I'm going to use that. So I'm just going to get my really soft brush. I'm going to get my arbor green, and I'm not going to wipe any of that out. I'm going to start creating some variation. And I'm not hitting everything perfectly. That is not my intent. My intent is to make this have some interest and different colors in it. So it's fun to look at. I need a little bit more green. That's a lot bit more green, and that's okay too. And as I said, I'm not really wiping a lot of that out. I'm leaving it pretty wet. I'm not filling in every crack. I'm not completely painting it. I'm just lightening it up and creating tone variation for the undercoat. And you should be doing something similar. But you could really paint this in 2 steps if you wanted, just a medium dry brush and a light dry brush, and you could be done. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. There's a million ways. Okay. Nice. So now we're going to get whatever's left there, and I'm going to get a lighter green. I'm going to mix these. And I'm going to thoroughly get that in my brush. And I'm going to grab another piece of cardboard. And I'm going to start air drying this guy dry. Okay, we have them fairly dry. Let's take that next color of green. And we'll wipe a lot more of that off. And then we'll come around and start hitting them. I'm going to hit around his mouth pretty good and lighten that up. I'm going to really focus on the body part and less on the tentacles, tendrils, vines, whatever they are. All right, so now I'm going to set that off to the side. I'm going to grab another piece of cardboard real quick. And I'm going to get a light green. This is called limeade. I'm going to get some of that. I'm going to make sure I have it all up in my brush. I'm going to hot air gun him real quick. get that real light green. I'm going to hit his face with that for sure. I'm going to come around the top outsides of the tentacles. I'm not going to do the entire tentacles of that. I'm going to drag it a little bit across his back, and then all those little vine things, I'm just going to kind of hit those with it. Okay, now I'm going to come around and touch the edges of his base a little bit. There we go. Do these tentacles a little better on the tops. I'm not hitting him real good with this. I'm just kind of touching in spots. Okay. So let's look at the reference art real quick and see what else we got to do. I think there was some brown on the end of his tendrils or tentacles, wherever they are. Yeah, there's some brown there. And there's his teeth are brown. There was some brown in the vines and stuff. I didn't know how I was going to make that look good. So I thought leaving the inside dark would suffice. But we can check that out when we get to it. So now I'm going to get a smaller brush and a medium brown paint. This is called Melted Chocolate. Getting my brush wet. I say wet, I mean damp. This has an intelligence of 3. And it's smart enough to pull a ripped off piece of it and hold it to heal it back on. Just putting that into perspective. 3 must be a lot smarter than we thought. Okay, got our teeth in brown, and then we're going to come in here and do some vague, sloppy, veiny lines leading up to the end of the tentacles. And at the end of the tentacles, we're just going to hit some spots with brown lines to make it kind of like it's going back in. Now you can do a couple of those, but you don't want to go overboard and make that a focal point of your paint job. If there's any silver or spots you don't like shining through, make sure you drag those lines over that. There probably shouldn't be too much of that shining through, but there might be a little bit. Oh, I got a bunch of silver under here. Holy crap. I was mistaken. I'm just going to drag that brown through there because no one's really going to see that much anyways. I just don't want it to be shiny and noticeable. So I'm going to drag my brown right through that silvery spot where the tinfoil is showing. And clean that up. I don't think I actually flipped this model over when I was working on it either. All right, and then when that dries, it won't be as noticeable and bright. So there's one more thing I think we can do to make these teeth look a little better, and that's to drag like jagged dark brown down into the where it's connecting the tooth into the plant material, the thorn. And then I'm going to get my hot air gun and dry that up. But let me wash my brush first. With the soapy water. I'm going to get a lighter brown and a crappy brush. I'm using khaki, which is almost a beige or a tan, like a light tan. I'm just getting a little bit of that. Then I'm going to get those teeth up towards the edges and just make them a little brighter. Something like that. Feed me, Seymour. Just something. just to make them look a little more noticeable. Now those are pretty good contrasted and they stick out a little bit. All right, let's look at that reference art one more time, make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think those vines were anything on a special color or anything. But just in case they were, let's check it. No, they were just green. And I don't know. I hate that. I don't know. All right, well anyways, that is my Tendriculos. And I tried to copy the book the best I could. And I hope you have fun making this one. It wasn't hard. It did take some time, but it wasn't a bad looking thing. I'd like to actually get those and green those up a little bit more. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit more of that limeade. And I'm going to get a thicker, wider brush. Maybe that one I just dry brushed with would work. I'm going to get my brush damp. I'm going to get some of that. And I'm just kind of drag it along there and make those a little more noticeable. And I think it's a little bit cartoony, but it might be fun and it might look okay on the table. Now you know you have to make a hill now that this turns into, or that turns into this at this point. I'm not really adding anything to the model, and that's when you usually stop. When you're just adding to add. It's not going to make this thing look any more intense or any good, but I just keep doing it. And then it's going to ruin the model, because that's what happens when you overpaint. Overpainting the shit out of it. All right, there's a little bit of shiny in there. I'm just going to reach back in there with my bright green and make it bright green for no reason. So anyways, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon. Leave a comment if you could. That'd be sick. I love comments. Join our Discord. Show us what you're working on. If you've made any of the projects I've made here on the channel, we would love to see that. I would love to see that more than ASCO even. And I'm going to be honest with you. When I say we now, I'm not even talking about just ASCO and myself. I'm talking about the other people on the Discord. The group of people that's on there is not enormous, but it is a quality group. I like the people. They seem decent and fun. They seem a little whiny at times too, but you know, I think we all are. But yeah, it was a good group, and I think that it's kind of people that you could hang out with, play video games, craft with, paint with, and bullshit with, and have a good time. And I think you should try it out. Links in the description of that. Also, this is the last day of the Black Friday sale. So if you want to get that sick deal on your first month of Dungeon Swag Minis sent directly to your house, check out the website and use my discount code that I have in the link here and get another 25% off the Black Friday deal. That's crazy good deal, man. It saves you like $6 ultimately or something, I think, after you use the Black Friday sale and my code. So check that out at the website, dungeonswag.com. The link will be in the description. Please, please, please go check that out. I don't want you to miss it. Today is the last day, and Scorbic did inform me that it would be gone after this. So please, by all means, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.